welcome to Faraday's Genius channel. Today we are going to discuss operational amplifiers. As the name goes, operational amplifiers, right? So it is called operational amplifiers because earlier it was built in performing mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, differentiation, integration of what signals, right? Now, the amplifier has a very high gain, right? And it is mostly built from what? Many transistors, resistors, and capacitors, right? And another component of it is what? The IC. And we know IC is built from what? A number of what? Semiconductor that has been what? Uh, that has been combined or as what? A single semiconductor, which is mostly called what? A chip, right? Now, the gain of the amplifier is mostly set by what? A few what? External what? Resistors, right? Okay. Now let's look at what? Some functionalities of what? The op-amp these days. Op-amp is mostly used in what? Performing what? Amplification, or it is used in what? Amplifying of what? Signals. When we say amplification, it means that what? An increase in what? Signal, right? So what are some of the signals we can what? Amplify? Example is what? Voltage and what? Current sources. So assuming we have what? A low signal applied at the input, just like we see here. It will appear at the output amplified, meaning that what? The large signal of what? The input. That is actually the functionalities of what? The amplifier, right? The scaling factor of the amplifier is what we term as what? The gain. And then the gain of the amplifier is mostly within the what? The amplifier. Okay. Now let's look at the schematic symbol of what? The op-amp. The op-amp has what? Two inputs. We call it what? The inverting, which is the negative side, and then the non-inverting, which is the positive side. Now let's first of all look at what? The inverting signal, right? It is called inverting based on the fact that if the input waveform is in this form, then it will appear at the output distorted, or in other words, what? Phase shift of what? About 180 degrees, or out of phase with the what? The input. You realize that what? The input is what? From top, down, and then up. This one starts from the down. The output has been what? Distorted. Okay. And then the non-inverting signal, assuming this is the main signal we are applying, then it will appear at the output in this form, where we are going to get what? A larger version of it, the same way as what? The input. But this one, we are going to get a larger version, but then what? Out of phase with what? With the input. Okay. So let's look at the equivalent circuit of what? The op-amp. It has what? The inverting, the non-inverting, and the output, right? And then the gain is mostly within the one system. And the gain factor is set by what? The number of resistances we have at the out of the input. Okay. The number of resistances that is embedded within the system. Okay. So basically we have the open loop what? Voltage gain, right? The gain of the op-amp without what? Feedback. So assuming we don't compare the output signal to the input, then it means that the system doesn't have what? Feedback, right? So whatever you are feeding here, that is what will appear at the what? At the output, being what? Amplified. Okay. Now let's look at ideal op-amp characteristics. So we have when we say an ideal op-amp, what do we mean by ideal? Ideal means that what? A perfect op-amp, right? Right? Or op-amp that is operating at its what? Peak. Assuming there is no errors, there is nothing, then that particular op-amp is an ideal op-amp. So an ideal op-amp has the following characteristics. The input resistance is what? Infinity. Or we have infinite input resistance. It means that no current flows through the system, because we know that from Ohm's law that current is equal to voltage on what? Resistor, right? So if the resistor is infinity, then it means that we are going to get 0 amps at the what? Input section. So it means that no current will flow through the what? The inverting or the non-inverting what? Input. Okay. Now, infinite open loop gain, right? So it means that the gain of the amplifier is infinity, right? Any differential input will result in an what? Infinite output. So assuming the input is very small, right? Still at the output you are going to get infinity. That's a characteristic of an ideal op-amp. And then we also have zero output resistances. So when we say zero output resistance, what do we mean by that? It means that what? the load or immune to the effect of loading, right? So assuming the output section we are having what 20 watt volt, right? Regardless of the number of what load that is being connected and output, still this system cannot handle without it being affected, right? So we can supply about 1,000 load to the system at the output section, but it will not be affected due to the zero output resistance. So immune to the effect of what loading. Loading does not have effect on the what output resistance. Okay. Now we are going to understand this better with what mathematical what expressions. Okay. Now we said that what the input resistance, right, of what an ideal op-amp is what infinity, meaning no current flow into the either the input what terminal, right? So the inverting has what is equal to the non-inverting what current and is equal to what zero, and as I explained, because I said current is equal to voltage on resistor. And since resistor is infinity, it means that we are going to get 0 watt amps at the what output section. Why is it important? Does not load the previous circuit. So accurate what voltage measurement, right? So assuming we are to measure voltages, right? And then the system draws current, it means that it's going to affect the voltage source. But that's what theoretically. Practically, it will actually affect it very small. It means that practically we have a very high what input resistance. So we cannot say it's infinity, but rather what it is high, right? So mostly what 2 megahertz to about what 10 raised to the power 12 watt, depending on the type of what op-amp we are dealing with. Okay. Now let's look at one of the what the characteristics of what an ideal op-amp is what infinite open loop gain, right? We are saying that the gain of an amplifier is infinity, and then we know that the output is given by what the gain multiplied by the difference between the what the non-inverting minus what the inverting, right? Okay, so meaning any tiny input difference produces a very large output. You get it? Yeah. So let's look at what practical op-amp. Practically, this one is theoretically. We are moving on to the practical. So in practically, you are saying that the gain is very high. So whatever you are seeing as what infinity is going to be very high practically. So the gain is very high, about what 10 raised to the power 5 to 10 raised to the power what 8 and all that, right? So actually it's not finite. Practically it's not finite. Okay. So let's look at an example. So assuming we have a gain of what 200,000, and then the difference of input is this. Then it means that the output is going to be 4 volts. So we have the output being equal to what? The gain times what? The input difference. V plus minus what? V minus, right? So the output will be equal to the gain is what? The gain is actually what? 200,000, right? Times the difference, which is what? 20 times 10 raised to the power minus 6, which will eventually give us what? 4 volts at the output, right? Practically. Now let's look at zero output resistance. When we say the output resistance is zero, means the output behaves like an ideal voltage source. You get it? So why is it important? The output voltage is almost unaffected by the load. Regardless of the number of load you apply at the output, the voltage is going to be the same. If you have 2 volts, it's still going to be 2 volts. It means that what your system wouldn't be affected at the output. You will not see that the voltage is small, so let me apply few loads practically. That's theoretically. But practically, the output resistance is low, right? It's not zero. So typically 20 to about 100 ohms. Now let's look at one of the important characteristics. We have bandwidth. When we say bandwidth, is the range of frequencies that an operational amplifier can amplify without losing much of what is gain or the amplification. So in simple words, bandwidth tell us how fast a signal can be before the op-amp starts to amplify it less. In other words, it is just telling us what uh, we'll move further and we'll understand this one well. Okay. So what is bandwidth? Imagine you are listening to music through a speaker, right? Because bandwidth, we have maximum amount of frequency the system can amplify. So at low frequencies, the music sounds very clear, meaning that it can amplify within that range, right? As the frequency becomes very high, the sound becomes weaker and distorted. As you continue to increase the sound to a certain level, the system becomes what? Weaker and distorted. So you see that the system will not behave well and all that, right? Very good. So an operational amplifier behaves in what? A similar way as the example that I've given to you. Now let's look at, suppose an op-amp has a bandwidth of what? 100 watt kilohertz. Okay. It can amplify these signals correctly, right? Look at the range. So the maximum what bandwidth the system can amplify is 100 kilohertz, right? So if the signal is 1 kilohertz, it can what? Amplify it very well, very well, very well. Now if it is 10 kilohertz, it's still within it. It can amplify it very well, very well. If it is 50 kilohertz, it can amplify it very well, right? And then if it is 100 kilohertz, that's the maximum, it can amplify it one very well. However, if the input frequency is 150, remember that this one is higher than what we have specified. It means that it cannot what? Amplify it. It cannot amplify it, cannot amplify it. Similarly, if it is 200 kilohertz, it cannot amplify it, right? So the output voltage becomes smaller because the op-amp can no longer provide its full gain to that particular frequency. That is what we mean by what? The bandwidth. Okay. Now let's look at an ideal op-amp, right? Infinite bandwidth. That means that what? It can amplify all frequency without what? Any reduction in the gain. So let's look at the practical op-amp too as well. It has a limited bandwidth, right? So we cannot say that it is infinity. Rather, we can say what? It has a limit. In other words, what? It is high, but it's not infinity. So as the frequency increases, right, the amplifier gain decreases because it can no longer amplify that particular frequency. So let's look at practical op-amp. It has what? A limited bandwidth. As the frequency increases, the amplifier gain what? Decreases. So that is actually what is happening within the system. So that is the end of our presentation on the characteristics of what? An ideal op-amp. Please don't forget to like the video and share to your colleagues for them.